Today I'd like to show you the PhocosLink Cloud. Let's start at the top left. We have an energy flow diagram. This shows you the most current energy flows in all directions. We have PV at the top, AC loads at the right, battery at the bottom, and the AC source at the left. This could either be a public grid or a diesel, gasoline, or fuel cell generator, for example. To the right of that, we have our main power mix. Here you can immediately see how much power is going into these 4 different channels. Again, we can see load, AC, source power, and PV power and battery power. You can already probably see that when I drag my mouse over here, I can see that the different views of the various charts are synchronized. This makes it very easy for you to hone in on one point and to see what the data point is on the various charts. You can also just select an area of the chart to zoom in, and all of the other charts will do the same and zoom into the same time range. For any chart, you can click on the header and select View. This gives you a larger view. You can also download the data of the time range that you've selected by again clicking on the title and going to Inspect Data. Here you can download a CSV file that will give you a comma-separated value that you can then import into Excel or any other Office package. Up here, you can select your time range between minutes, hours, months, or years even. So let's go back to 24 hours. To the left here where you see the Phocos logo, you can enter your own image. So you can use that if you want to share your system with others, for example. To the right of that, we have the state of charge of our battery. Further down on the left, we have a map with an orange point. That is our system. You can enter your coordinates so that you can find your system on the global map. Right here, we have the operation mode of our system. So in this example, we have the green parts, which are off-grid, and the orange parts, which are grid mode. So like this, you can immediately see when your system is running in grid mode or when it's running completely isolated from the grid in off-grid mode. Below that, we have fault states, if any are available. If you have any faults, you can see precisely when the faults occurred, how long the duration was, and which units were affected. You can open and close the entire PV, battery, and load section. Let's open them up one by one. For PV, we can immediately see the PV power. We can also see the accumulated energy in kilowatt hours. We can see one bar chart to represent the cumulative energy during that hour. So this is our PV production. Then if you want to get into more details, you can also see the PV voltage and current shown on this chart. Now let's look at more details from the battery. Here too, we have a bar chart for the cumulative energy going in and out of the battery. As above, we can also see the voltage and the current of the battery for more in-depth analysis. Finally, we can also see the state of charge and the battery power in the final chart here. Looking at the AC load, again we have our cumulative energy. This makes it very easy to compare the various inputs and outputs to each other. We always work in watt hours or kilowatt hours depending on the amount of energy that we're looking at to make things comparable between DC and AC currents. In the middle here we have the load power and the frequency of the AC output. Finally, we have the load voltage and current shown here. Now let's look at the AC source. Again, we have the cumulative energy going into the AC source if we're feeding in and being taken out of the AC source. Negative values are feed in, positive values are taking energy from the AC source. As above, we have the frequency and the power being shown of the AC source. And then finally, the voltage and current of the AC source. And that's it for a very quick overview of the PhocosLink Cloud. Thank you very much for watching this video.